I'm also not happy about the fact that 2 weeks back and he's back to normal and I haven't changed a bit.
It's been more than 2 weeks.
It's been more than 2 weeks. And you just made my point even better. Hi everyone, this is Bethany Wilson from Rough Beginnings Rehab, and this is my handsome assistant, Chris. I'm already back in shape, Davison.
I was out of shape?
You were out of shape, remember?
I got a little bit of a gut in France, yeah.
We just got back from our vacation, and I did do a video, a Q&A video with my brother Tommy. That's number 14. It was at the beach. It's awesome. Make sure you check that one out. And this is our first one back together again. But here's the thing.
I made a cameo at the beach one.
Oh yeah, you did make a cameo.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why you're supposed to get in better shape or like feel motivated to get in shape before vacation. We don't take vacations, so I didn't know that when you work harder to like take the last few pounds off before vacation, it's stupid because you just gain that back and more in just a matter of weeks. So I'm not really happy about that.
It's all about setting up the routine, and we continued it a little bit. So it's easier to get back into it when we got back.
I'm also not happy about the fact that 2 weeks back and he's back to normal and I haven't changed a bit.
It's been more than 2 weeks.
It's been more than 2 weeks. And you just made my point even better. I got news for you ladies who are under 20. Things change in your 30s. They change. Get ready. That's all I gotta say. And yeah, all right. I think those were pearls of wisdom from Bethany from her vacation. If you didn't see those videos, those are Q&A number 12 and 13. The first one is in France, and then also in my family farm in Illinois, and then the next one is in Ireland. And there's amazing footage of the places that we stayed in castles. So make sure you check those out.
Amazing pearls of wisdom, or complaints.
Not complaints. I was educating people who don't go on vacation like us, or people who are younger. I was warning those women.
Oh.
Enjoy your pizza while you can, ladies.
I love pizza.
Anyway, I think we are ready to get into the show.
I thought we were already in the show.
Well,
okay.
The questions.
The questions. They want questions. They want answers to the questions. All right. Question number 1 is, I don't know who this is. Oh, it's from Kathy Alton. Something like that. Kathy writes, "Hi, I love watching your videos and dog training tips. What are your thoughts about using the Gentle Leader head harness on a reactive dog? I have a 19-month-old Cocker Spaniel who's very dog reactive. When I use a harness, she is very well behaved, but it's been months since I started using it, and she hates it. She tries to rub it off. For at least the... What are you doing?
That's what they do. That's what they... While you're walking, they're like...
You're making me think you're a cat or something. Okay. She tries to rub it off for at least the first half of the walk until she gets tired and leaves it alone. I'm very unsure about using a prong or an e-collar yet. Should it take this long to become accustomed to the head harness? Could she be in pain, or is she just being stubborn? Any
combination
advice?
of everything. No. Here's the thing. Really not a fan of head halters. The reason why is because it doesn't help you teach your dog how to do a really great heel, in my opinion. And by heel, I mean, next to you, not in front of you or behind you, because the head harness is designed to redirect the head. So you can't teach heel very well when your dog is always being tweaked to the side. Now, I recently had to work with a dog who had a thyroid issue with a head harness and an e-collar, and it was very difficult to teach him to not go after dogs and to stay in heel position. I actually ended up using a dressage whip, not to whip the dog, but just to help block, to help guide him back. Dressage whip.
You said massage whip.
Massage whip. Wow. No, not that kind of show, Chris.
I was like, what?
So I was trying, to try to guide him back into position, and it was a lot of things going on. It was very difficult, and even he would get really frustrated, even though he'd had it for a long time and was used to it. Just the pressure is so uncomfortable. That we had to do a few other things so I didn't have to use so much pressure when he would jump at other dogs, because you don't just use e-collars for correction. You train it at a low level and go through that whole process. So when we were training and he would still go after other dogs, it was so uncomfortable for him. Now as far as pain, I would say that they're only painful if you jerk them, because you basically clamp their mouth shut. I've seen dogs bite their tongues on them before. She keeps itching. You hear?
That's called scratching.
Scratching, itching, scratching.
Scratching.
I say itching. I can say what I want.
Itching is like when you're like that's itching because you need to scratch it. See, now you're scratching.
I'm itching.
You're itching. You're scratching because you're itching.
Look, leave me alone. I've been the same for how many years? I'm not changing. Okay.
Wrong forever and will continue to be wrong.
Fine.
Yeah.
With confidence. I'm wrong. With confidence.
Sorry, Kathy. I had interrupted your answer there, but I had to correct my wife. Happens all the time.
Yeah, because he doesn't get to very often, so he's got to take every little moment.
Yeah.
So sorry. So my point is that it really depends on the dog. It takes a lot of food work sometimes to get dogs comfortable with them. They don't, like I said, they don't hurt unless you snap them, but there's I hate the pressure. I hate the nose pressure. It kind of comes from, with the prong collars, there, when you pop a prong collar, they say that it's like almost like a bite from a mother dog, and it really doesn't go that deep, but that's like what some people say was the instinct behind making the tool. Also the fact that it doesn't put any direct pressure on the trachea. And then with a nose halter, it's the same thing. It's they say that, I haven't seen this, and I've raised some puppies, some litters when I was a kid, but they say that sometimes like the hovering or a mom will grab the puppy's nose with her mouth and push down.
I've never seen that.
Me either. I've never seen that either, but I have heard people talk about it. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's supposed to be a dominant pressure that's supposed to make your dog submissive. So as you can tell by my tone, I'm just not crazy about them. I would rather use a slip leash and do more food luring if I wanted to turn their head. I actually have a video. What is it called? I'm going to link it down below for you. I'm going to remember. I'm actually going to make a note of it. I'm going to link a video down below that I want you to see with a slip leash. And you can try a slip leash. Or you can just try the same technique with the head halter. It's just not as easy in my opinion. Link with dog Comet. That's the dog that's in the video. Hope maybe that'll help. So committee, yeah, I know it changed it on me. I can't spell either. Can't talk, can't spell.
Itching, scratching.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you. I mean, for now, that's what I would stick with. I would do prong collar training. Sometimes prong collars can amp up a dog. If you've seen my other videos, you know where I want you to go. I want you to look up Tyler Muto's Tyler MUTO prong collar 1, prong collar 2. If you haven't done that, you need to watch that. Why don't you just get a prong collar and practice those things in the house, and if you have a yard, in the yard. Then if you're comfortable a week, 2 weeks down the road, then try it outside. And if you're not comfortable, you can take it off and never use it again. I'm not here to push you to do something you don't want to do. I'm just answering your question to the best of my ability. Oh yeah.
You can't do any better than that, can you?
Yeah, no. I hope that helps, Kathy.
All right, next question is from Mary Lumsden. Hopefully I've said that correctly.
Yeah.
Mary writes, love your vids of Henry. Oh, Henry.
On Facebook.
Henry had Henry ever been crate trained, or did you have to train him from the scratch?
From scratch.
From the scratch. Sorry, the scratching and the itching is throwing me off right now. How do your board and trains take to being crated if they've never been in one? I live in Australia, and crating is still a little foreign here, but I'm trying to get my clients on board with the idea, especially for the puppies. I've come across your YouTube videos and wanted to reach out in hopes that you can direct me to the right video or simply in the right direction. My dog has what I can what I call social anxiety. I rescued him from a lady and...
That's someone else. What are you doing?
What?
Especially for the puppies. Hi, I came across your YouTube videos.
Sorry, Mary.
I'm working with amateurs.
I tell you what it is, I'm so used to her, like, long answers that I decided to combine questions together so she could help everyone at one time.
Very funny. Alright, sorry. So it ended with live in Australia, especially for the puppies, want to start crate training. Yeah, crate training for puppies. Hush up. Crate training for puppies is a must. I can't imagine not crate training a puppy. Maybe having them in a small pen, but the peeing and the pooping and the chewing and oh my god, I can't imagine it. So, besides those obvious reasons, here's the thing about Henry specifically, is he had tried to bite people when they tried to get him in the crate before. So, I think we took a video of it, but I don't think I posted it yet, because it was really dark and I had to do some tweaking so people could see it. But this is what we did, is, and I know I sent you a link of this as well. You can actually look up Blake Rodriguez from Dream Come True Canine in New York, and he's got a great video on crate training a dog that's not a safe dog to be around. And we basically did the same thing. So you put a long line on the dog. You have someone go to the opposite end of the crate, and they're doing pressure through the crate safely on a long line while I'm trying to encourage from my angle. And then if I really feel like I need to, we muzzle the dog. And you don't just do it once. I mean, you don't just get them in the crate and shut the door. That's the worst thing you can do. And that even goes with a dog that has a little anxiety or a little unsure about the crate. The worst thing you can do is put them in there and just shut the door. I have some crate training puppy videos, some crate training for calm dogs, how to let them out properly. That's all on my YouTube. But when it comes to, a dog having any anxiety with the crate, or especially Henry, who had tried to bite people going in the crate, which we didn't experience because we took it so slow and took a lot of precautions, is we literally, in the crate, and he wouldn't take food, by the way, just FYI. We absolutely tried food, of course, but I knew he wouldn't take it, but we still tried it. We tried cheese and chicken. But anyway, in the crate, shut the door for a second. I don't even think we did that to start with. We let him go in and come out. Then we did pressure. So we do pressure with the leash, and as soon as they take one step, not even all the way in the crate, but one step, we release a little pressure. Now, if he pulls back, we just hold taut. We're not pulling, we're just holding pressure until they give in a step, right? And then
they make the decision themselves.
Yeah, they make the decision themselves to move forward a step, and then we reward that by releasing just a little bit of tension on the leash. Now for Henry, he tried to back up, so we did have to tweak it a little bit. We probably used a little more pressure, but not to the point where he would snap or anything like that. I mean, it's just a real balancing game, and it just takes experience and
give and take,
and even with experience, I mean, forget experience. Every new dog is a new situation, and you kind of just got to go with the flow and follow your gut on pressure and no pressure. But anyway, we did that 10 times, and he was going in like a dream. And then once he was going in really easily, then we did it another 10 times. Nice and calmly in, and then we started shutting the door for just a second, opening, permission to come out, in, and then we started making him wait in the crate for permission to come out. So we did that all at once. We probably did 25 repetitions until he was literally, she's trying to make her bed, until he was literally to the point where he was like, just leave me alone in the crate, go away, I'm fine in here, forget what everybody said, I like the crate, I'm fine. So that's, you'd have to do that every day, sometimes several times a day, depending on the dog. That's where you start, and then you kind of go from there, see how they are in there for longer periods of time and so on. But that's how we got him in there, and I'm glad you liked the videos on Henry, and yeah.
Moving on. Next question is from Christian Tovar. And Christian, I already read half of your question, but guess what? I'm going to read half of it again. Christian writes, "Hi, I came across your YouTube videos and wanted to reach out in hopes that you can direct me to the right video or simply in the right direction. My dog has what I call social anxiety. I rescued him from a lady at 4 months, and he was not properly socialized. He does well at dog parks and daycare, but he will not get close to humans. He's scared and doesn't trust them. if he doesn't know them. I recently had incidents where friends come over and he barks outrageously and tries to nip. He nipped one. I've mastered the walk with him by doing 180s, and he's she's a little distracting here.
I'm listening.
By doing 180s, and he's great until a human pops up. He goes psycho and barks away. I've been able to have him around people without him barking crazy. I want be able to have him
yeah.
Well, barking crazy. If you have any tips or information for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you in advance, Christian Tovar.
I sure do, Christian. Now, I don't know if you know much about me or what I do, but I do board and trains, and I do e-collar and prong collar training with dogs. Doesn't matter the size, the breed, the age. This is definitely something that I would use e-collar training for, because it's a tool where you don't have to be so physical with the dog, and you teach them what it means at a really low level, and then you build up to being able to hold them accountable. And to be able to do that without anything physical, like a leash and something like that, it's a very non-emotional way to communicate with your dog, and it really helps turn them around very quickly. If you'd like more information on that, I've got specific playlists on my YouTube channel: e-collar training, prong collar training. I would start with those two things. Look at those videos. Check out Sean O'Shea from The Good Dog, which is also in Los Angeles. Check out Jeff Gelman. Jeff Gelman probably has the most e-collar training videos. And by training, I don't mean like I'm not talking about just corrections here. I'm talking about training, just using it to build positive reinforcement and make good choices, and use it as a cue, an off-leash cue, and then you can hold them accountable. But Jeff Gelman from Solid Canine Training in Buffalo, New York, you can look him up on Google. He by far has the most videos. That's the way I would go, but it's a lot of work. But you've got a lot of work ahead of you. That just seems to be the way it is. Usually we'll start e-collar on dogs like that as early as 16 weeks, and it's whenever they're that young, it's nothing but positive reinforcement. I mean, there isn't even any correcting or holding the dog accountable at that young of an age. It's nothing but they just feel a little whatever, and you just train them. It's like a clicker, it's like a leash, anything like that. That's how you start, and then once they get a little older, then you can start to hold them accountable. So anyway, let me give you some other things that you can go ahead and do now while you're looking into those other resources if you want. You've got to take... Now, as far as the walk goes, what I would do is I would not feed that dog unless he would take food from me outside. And he may not even sit for it. I may just get a redirect, and he's still standing. He won't even sit. He's so, nervous. That's fine. I'll take it. So it's not like you're starving your dog. You're offering the puppy food. If he doesn't take it, that's his choice. So what happens is, a couple days may go by, maybe 3 days for a puppy. Probably won't be more than a couple days. But what happens is you can get to a point where he sees a human and he'll take food. Then you can get to a point where he sees a human and he'll sit for food. So then what happens is it changes the way he thinks about humans outside on the walk. He starts to focus on you more. The hunger starts to trump anything else. And you can get him working for food. Completely changes mindset in a short period of time. And I understand that for some people that's hard, and I get that. What if he doesn't eat for a few days? I get it. It can be hard for some people, but you can literally make huge changes in a matter of weeks by doing that. By giving him his kibble outside on walks. When he sees people, I don't care if the person's 100 yards away and he just barely thinks he sees someone. That's good enough, to start with. You can make such huge changes being committed to that, or you can spend the next 6 months trying to get his attention with treats. And that's my opinion. You asked for it, I'm giving it to you. The other thing you can do in the house is, and I've got videos on this, you can check out my puppy playlist, you can check out my regular playlist for adult dogs. You need to teach a strong place command. It's where the dogs go to their bed and lay down. You saw the two little ones. One of them's in place now. But I actually have 3 dogs here training that are in place right now, and they're sleeping. One's on a mat, and then 2 are in their beds. And they've been here for an hour, and they'll be here for another hour just sleeping. So what happens is you train them to do that, to go to a bed, to target a bed and lay down. And then eventually you can have people come in and you give them a little pop cue, like, hey, no, come here. Place, good. Sit, and you can have food. At his age, you definitely want to be using food, and you redirect him, and then you take social pressure completely off of him. What I mean by that is no eye contact, no touching, no, oh, I think he's okay, so let's see if he wants to be pet. No, what you're doing is you'll build trust with people by not putting any social pressure on him, and then you think he's okay, and so you let someone reach over him and he bites, and you've lost all your trust again. So no social pressure on him, none whatsoever. If he decides when you release him from place and he's calm, which might be 4, 5, 6 months down the road, and he seeks out affection, that's different. But someone reaching into his space, that's why he doesn't trust people. Those are my 2 cents. Obviously, there's a lot more to it. There's other things you can be doing, but those are the basics. I hope that helps. Please let me know how things are going, and if you would like a more developed answer, just ask me another question on my Facebook.
That's how I learned how to like people.
No social pressure. Don't touch me. Especially in
and
LA.
But also like treats.
Treats?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why?
That's why I like. Because people give me food.
People give you treats?
They give me food, and it makes me like people. Kind of hungry, it's a hint. Next question is from Mukund.
Mukund. Maybe K is silent. Mukund. No,
that would no.
I'm really sorry that we butcher names.
We have Mukund VK.
We have no culture.
So hopefully I'm sure I got that wrong. But all right, the question is, recently I brought home a lab, and he's about 40 years old. Wow, that's an old dog. He's about 40 days old. He's so good and healthy, and as always, my doubt is simple. He keeps biting us, even though he is just expressing his love. That's a great way to express love, with bites. It's a little bit disturbing, and I find it right to teach him not to. Can you help me?
Okay, so here's the thing. 40 days old. I don't understand that. Why would you have a 5.5-week-old dog, right?
Yeah.
30 days is no. Wait, that's 21.
That's about 4.
So that's a 6-week-old dog. 6.5.
30 would be roughly about 4 weeks. So
all right, our math sucks, but either way, that dog is too young.
5.5 weeks, yeah.
That dog is too young. You shouldn't have that dog. Now, maybe you got it from a rescue or something like that, but this is my point. This is why I'm pointing this out is, if you got him from a breeder, then you got screwed, to put it mildly, just because they're supposed to spend a significant amount of time with their siblings. And the mother. Because the siblings and the mother help teach the puppy what is too hard, and help teach them social cues that have to do with biting. So if that dog doesn't have that, then you could really have your work cut out for you, because you as a human have to teach him that biting is not acceptable. Biting is not expressing love. It's just play. I mean, that's all it is. It's just play. And it's really common for, like, even babies, they grab stuff and they put it in their mouth. It's just how dogs communicate. He'll be communicating like that for quite some time, to be honest. It'll actually probably get worse before it gets better naturally, but you definitely want to curb it or it can get out of control. Labradors are prone to being chewers rather than the first few months of their life, for the first few years of their life. So it's definitely something you want to show him is not okay right away. But you got to get out of your head that it's showing love. I mean, when he destroys the entire coffee table when you go and have dinner, that's not love. Okay? So don't get me wrong, they do it playfully, but they also do it out of frustration. They do it for a lot of different reasons. First of all, a puppy that young needs to be sleeping 18 to 20 hours a day. If they're not crated and, for intervals of time and completely in quiet and sleeping, they're going to get more frustrated, more likely to mouth. Also, this is hard for a lot of people to deal with, but puppies, a lot of times, they don't want to be pet that much. They really don't. They want to be active and explore and do things and learn and work. And whenever you're trying to constantly pet them, it's like, nah. That's what they do. I hope that everybody liked that demonstration.
I'm a little scared, but
but that is what they do. So stop doing that so much. Only pet him if like you're working with him with food and he's doing okay and he won't try to bite you, or if he's completely passed out from being tired, you can rub his belly and pet him then. But otherwise, don't bother petting him. That's just something that you guys as humans, as owners, need to just learn in general. As far as actually actively working on the biting itself, you guys got to start training that young of a dog. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what all you can do with them. You can go ahead and start some sits. You can start some follow me's with food. You can work on come. He's so young. I would start working on different surfaces and go ahead and condition him to tile, carpet, beds, fluffy stuff, flat stuff, cold stuff, things like that. Go ahead and start conditioning him, and you can use food to get him to walk on that kind of thing. That'll help him focus on something, learn how to focus on something. And then I would he's awfully young for this, but maybe by now, because I think this was a couple weeks ago, he might be more like the 8-9 weeks old. But if it's really bad, like if it's scratching skin bad and you cannot get a handle on it, you need to be on a schedule. If you're not on a schedule, then there's not much you can do. So what I mean by that is he gets out in the morning, he goes and potties, 15 minutes of play. He's probably passed out after then. Like play as in like fetch, not wrestling, fetch, no chase play or anything like that. Maybe a few minutes of food work, even if it's just teaching him how to follow food and come to you. And then crate for 2-3 hours. And then out again, 10, 15 minutes in the yard to potty, 10-15 minutes play, a little bit of food work. I've got tons of puppy training videos, but he is on the young side, so make sure you keep it really simple, really easy for a while. If you're not doing that, then you have no right to tell him no about anything, because if he doesn't have that structure and that time to sleep and that learning time and all that stuff, then you can't tell him no. It's not fair to him, because you're not handling him correctly in order for him to be able to understand and know. So let's say you are doing that, you are being pretty scheduled, and you're not giving him free time all over the house and things like that. Get a pet corrector. It squirts out air. You can get it on Amazon. It comes in a red can. When he goes to bite you, just say no, short little squirt. It'll scare him most likely. He'll be like, oh my God. Just ignore him. Or calmly put him in his crate. Not bad, like you never use the crate for bad. You just calmly put him in his crate. And then just don't touch him for a while. Let him out again. If he goes to mouth again, just make the noise and see if he backs off, because that's what the can sounds like. So that can be his inhibition. Only use it if it's really bad though. I mean, if he's just doing like light mouthing and he's that young, you just use treat training for now and just get him on a schedule, and that'll curb a lot of it all by itself. Hope that helps. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Next person is Melody. Melody writes, just found your awesome videos. I'm picking up my 8-week-old cockapoo puppy soon, and I am soaking in your videos to prepare. I am also reading a lot of dog training books that advocate using a clicker before giving treats. What is your opinion on the clicker method?
Okie dokie, clicker method. So, I have a couple of views on the clicker, and it really is just an opinion. I have used them before, but honestly, it was very briefly. They're a pain in the butt. Think of it this way. You've got a leash. You've got a pouch with treats. You're trying to learn timing. You have a wiggly puppy, and you have a clicker. It's not easy. And I have excellent hand-eye coordination. I was a catcher, all right? Softball catcher. It was darn good. So I'd like to think that I have good coordination. Yeah, I was terrible at that. I was really bad at trying to handle the clicker and everything else. Now, with an older dog, if I'm doing like a specific trick, and it's a anal type of dog as far as a mindset, like a border collie, clicker training can be great. Instead, I just use e-collar cues instead of a clicker, because low-level e-collar cues are they're cues, just like the clicker is a cue. So I just use that just in a really positive way. What I prefer to do is use marker words. Keep them clean, and they're just as good as a clicker. So what I mean by that is sit, yes, treat. Sit, yes, treat, or good. You can use good too, but don't be like good boy, good girl, which I even accidentally do sometimes. You have to keep it clean and quick and crisp. Don't muddle it with a lot of other words. That's why clickers work as far as them learning a click means something good, because it's such a clean and crisp sound. But it is a pain in the butt just to handle physically. So if you can teach yourself to not be like, oh, you did so good. If you can just be like, sit, yes, treat. What's the dog's name? I don't know. Luna, come, yes, treat. If you can just be really clean and clear with your...
You just made up a name, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can be really clean and clear verbally, then you don't really need a clicker. Clickers are really great for chickens, for exotic animals, things like that, because they just don't have that connection with us that dogs do. Plus, you won't always have a clicker on you. And I like to be able to be in the park, do a downstay with my dog, be 60 foot away, and just say good, and reinforce what they're doing, rather than always needing a clicker, okay? So my point is I like to have the verbal usage. The only exception, now I personally haven't come across this situation, but I will just 2 cents, some other trainers that do more like positive reinforcement based training that I know, one of the reasons they like clickers, they don't always use them, but for dogs that are a little bit more high strung, a little bit just more chaotic, or very training specific, like border collies tend to be like, you can't, like your hand variations have to be perfect, so your movements, if you vary it at all, they think it's something different because they're just so keen. So, you know, if you have a dog with a brain like that, a clean and crisp clicker can be really useful. I've just never, that's what they say. Personally, and I've tried using it, I'm just not a fan. I just don't need it. I've got my voice, I got all this other crap to deal with, and I don't need a clicker. Just my personal opinion. I like marker words. Same thing, no extra tool. All right, if you have any more questions, I hope that helps. Goodbye, Melody.
What is this?
Karen. We've had her before. Oh, yeah, sorry. This is a side thing. Okay, hello, Karen. So, you sent me the Golden Doodle video, and I talked about you in question and answer number 13. That was a question you asked me. You were the last question with the fancy castle in the background. I don't think I mentioned a pet corrector. I could be wrong. I might have mentioned it. But if I didn't, it's because with golden doodles, especially, she has a golden doodle that won't let her back in the house. Jumps on her, barks, sounds pretty intense actually, even though it's a friendly dog, but when it comes to coming back into the house, it freaks. So it's such a high state of mind that I didn't even think a pet corrector would really work. I would rather you just use a correction and teach that dog no means no and you mean business, and if you want to go in the house, go in the house. But it might give you an edge. Try a pet corrector. Go on Amazon, type in pet corrector, aim for the chest, not the face, and just do a no, and see if it startles him. And then you can use your leash. It might give you an edge, in case I forgot to mention that.
Won't let her in the house?
No, don't you remember?
That makes me think of the movie Turner and Hooch.
Oh yeah, Turner and Hooch.
He's like, Hooch, back up!
I love that movie.
Back up!
I love that movie.
Nobody yells like Tom Hanks, I swear.
I know, he's so fantastic. All right, and for all you youngins out there, Tom Hanks started in comedy. You gotta look up some of his old stuff, it's great.
Yes, yes. All right, next question is from Diego Fritzen. Something like that.
Fritzen.
How long do you repeat this for? What?
Just read it.
Okay, how long do you repeat this for? Oliver is almost a 3-year-old Portuguese water dog. He can grab objects and retrieve them in occasion or drops them too soon. How can I reinforce the come all the way without dropping or stealing the toy?
All right, so Diego is talking about a video that I did with my German Shepherd on how to teach fetch.
Oh, I got you. I was like, what do you mean, how long do you repeat?
It just depends on the dog. I'll be honest, with that dog you saw in the video, Charlie, it took me a long time. Because Charlie wasn't that motivated at first.
He had a rough life when we got him.
Yeah, he'd had a rough past.
He was shut down for like almost 6 months when we first got him.
3 months.
Whatever.
Everybody likes to exaggerate about their rescue dogs.
I'm
3
Irish.
months he was shut down, and 3 months is a long time. We thought he was going to be the most boring dog we ever had, which we were so wrong. But anyway, so here's the thing. He's talking about like when I throw the ball, I guess your dog is coming back and dropping it. Do shorter distances. Get him a little bit more amped up. Do shorter distances. You just got to keep keep doing the routine over and over and over. Make sure it's all about the toy. Do more luring with the toy. Make it fun. And then you also mentioned stealing the toys. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're struggling with him bringing the toy all the way back to you, I wouldn't worry about you going to grab the toy and him trying to grab the toy, as long as it's all in good fun, because you kind of want to build that drive if you're struggling with him bringing it all the way to you. Now, if he's dropping it because he doesn't want you to have it, that's different. If that's the case, make sure he's on a long line and just do shorter distances. And I do it as long as it takes, to be honest. If treats or food, even, you could try dry kibble. It might not be too high value. As long as dry kibble or treats don't completely trump the value of the toy, you can add some energy to the situation by saying come when he picks up the ball and using food. But that could make him just get excited and drop the ball. That only works for dogs where food isn't way more valuable than toy, where it's a little bit more even keel. That's why you can play around with, boiled chicken versus just dry kibble. So that's another idea. I hope that helps. Hope that gives you some idea. But I mean, I don't know, you do it as long as it takes. And if something you feel like just really isn't working, tweak it. Make sure you're on a leash, do shorter distances, more excitement, stuff like that.
Okay, moving on. Next question is from Catherine Stark. What if she's related to Tony Stark?
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. We have a Westie, now 12 plus weeks old. We got her 8 weeks old. She is very nippy, has gotten us both good on our hands a number of times, broken the skin, and also goes for our feet, pants, legs, thrashing as though she has hold of a rat.
Do you know what a Westie is? It's those little white terriers.
Oh, okay.
They're the breeds that, like, some breeders, well, when you get Westies, they're like, this dog will never be an off-leash dog. Like, those are the type of mentality these dogs are.
She does not do this all the time, but when in a high state of excitability. She has learned sit, doesn't stay yet, but sits for her food. It would be helpful to see a video of training before you got to the stage shown in this video when the puppy was at the worst, with the nipping, biting, and snarling. Which video is she talking about?
She's talking about the video of the Boston Terrier that's like all nippy and bitey. Here's the thing, like, I didn't, there was no difference between session 1 and session 3. Because what I did was kept everything really low key and just did treat redirection. I mean, that's all we did was sit for food, sit for a treat, sit for a treat, sit for a treat. See my pant leg, sit for a treat, sit for a treat. Like, there was no difference. So it's the reason you're struggling is because two things you've got to do. And don't get me wrong, I know that it's tough. Easier for me because I'm a trainer. Tough for you because it's a family dog. If I forget his name, it was a long time ago, but if it's the video I'm thinking of, if that dog, if we weren't working on a session or out walking, that dog was crated. So there was no free time for him to catch me off guard and start to go after my pant leg. So we would work for a big section of time. Well, he had a lot of drive, and Westies do too. But there was a big section of time we would work on that. And if I felt like I was overwhelming him, we would back off and I wouldn't use as many distractions. And he only ate when I was giving him food. At least I think it's so long ago, I'm trying to remember, but that's what I would do now if I didn't then. But that's my point, is that it got to the point where he didn't care about anything else anymore. He was so conditioned to just sit for food. Now, something that wasn't shown is him learning the blocking and to back off for blocking. But that wasn't that different either. It was just more luring. So I would block him, but I would have a treat in my hand, and he would just be looking at the treat, so he didn't mind backing up. But if I didn't have food, he'd go after me, right? So it's just, and then the food is weaned off. It's just you recondition their brain to how they feel about something. Now, he was old enough, and this was 2 weeks ago, so he's 14 weeks old now. So your dog is old enough to also put on a leash for safety, and just give him a pop on the leash, just a no and a pop on the leash. And then something else you can do is get a pet corrector. if it's really bad. If it's like he's got a hold of your and shaking like crazy, get a pet corrector. It squirts out air, doesn't hurt the dog, but it does startle the crap out of your dog. So when that dog, and you go keep a short little burst, and you aim for the chest and the shoulder, but save it for the big moments, and you set him up. Like, try not to do this organically, you know, try to be working on it, and then maybe instigate him a little more than he's ready for, and you know he's gonna go for it, just to create that inhibition, okay? And then gradually give him more and more freedom as you learn to trust him. A 12, 14-week-old puppy should be having almost zero freedom. So it shouldn't be that hard if you're got him on a schedule, crate training, stuff like that. And I just mean about the schedule part, you know, about not being that hard. About being able to fit that in and set that scenario up. Let's see. And also, you know, something that we cut out, you know, with the Boston Terrier puppy is that, you know, everybody was playing chase with him. So I didn't do that. I didn't have that relationship with him. So I could get him riled up pretty easily, but not like when he saw his family, he just went right for them, because that's how he felt about them. You know what I mean? So think about little things like that. What are you doing with your dog? Are you playing any high drive games or chase or anything like that where he kind of sees you, you know, less as an authority figure and more as a playmate, because you want to avoid that through puppyhood until they get a good solid foundation. You know, and I just went through this actually with a Jack Russell Terrier. I corrected him on a puppy prong. And a puppy prong is, your dog is actually old enough for a regular prong, but a puppy prong is it looks like a prong collar, but it's plastic, so it's a little bit more, it's a lot more gentle actually. You can go into Amazon and just type in training collar, and you'll probably get all kinds of stuff, but you'll get in a plastic prong looking, that'll give you an edge. But the first time that I really pop corrected this Jack Russell for biting the leash, it was a big issue of his. Instead, he jumped up and started going after my leg, and like pants leg. And he had done that previously with his owners, but he hadn't done it in a while, so they were hoping the behavior went away. Well, if I correct him for something, he's like, okay, if I can't bite the leash, then I'll bite this. So that kind of stuff is normal. It is an escalation, but don't let that kind of stuff worry you. Just work through it, all right? Just work through it, and you'll be fine. It's part of it. Try the pet corrector, and just do work on specific sessions.
Don't overuse the pet corrector.
Yeah, only use pet corrector for big moments, but set him up to succeed, and then work on sessions on a low-key basis. I never planned on videotaping that Boston Terrier, and it's actually when I just started doing that kind of thing, and he was doing so good I couldn't believe it. I was like, I gotta get this on tape. It wasn't any different than when I first started with him. He had a lot of food drive already. So, okay, so one more thing. If your dog doesn't have food drive yet, you got to work on that first. You got to work on sit, treat, sit, treat. Don't feed him much from his bowl. Work on your obedience, and then the rest of the time, try to set him up to succeed and not have that bad moment. And if he does, have him drag around a leash. I always have puppies drag around a leash. Yes, they're going to chew on it, not a big deal. And then when they're supervised, of course, and then have the pet corrector. And then when he's ready, really focus on it for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time. All right, next. I hope that helps. Let me know how it goes.
Moving on.
Next question is from Drew Morgan. Drew writes, I've got a 1-year-old male Rot that has always had some guarding issues. He will start to show his teeth and even snap when he gets a hold of a dirty sock or a paper ball. I've tried the patient route with him, offering high-value treats he normally loves, and he will not trade. It's a game to him to hold on to it. Not sure what else to do about this.
It's not about trading. I don't know how old, 1-year-old, yeah. 1-year-old adolescent dog. It's not about trading. It's about telling him that is unacceptable. That is my opinion. Not every trainer would agree with that. This is what I would do. I would not handle that issue myself. I would seek out help from another balanced trainer in my area. I need to
Key word is balanced.
Balanced, which means food and correctional training. I need to get this on my website. That reminds me, I gotta make a note to do this. But on Sean O'Shea's website, it's thegooddog.net. He actually has a section somewhere on there, a list of balanced trainers that he trusts around the nation. So maybe you could check on there. It's thegooddog.net. I don't know what tab it is. Maybe on the contact page or something like that where he has local balance trainers. You'll have to look around. That's what I would do. And I would send him to a board and train, or sign up for 3 to 6 sessions of someone coming and helping me work through the stages of it. That's not something you want to mess around with on your own, in my opinion. That dog needs to be corrected, but it doesn't usually turn out great if the owner is the first one to correct him.
Yep.
So I don't mean to be negative, but that's what I mean. If you came to me and told me that, and you were local, I would say, I'm sorry, but I will not work with you unless we do e-collar training and he's a board and train where he lives with me for a period of time. So, because the guarding, and you may not agree, but the guarding is a symptom of something much bigger. The worst thing you can do is like put a training tool on a dog, have them guard something and correct them. That is not my MO. That is not what I suggest, because it's not about that. The guarding is a symptom. There's other things that you need to work on first. You just need to get better impulse control in general. Able to lay in place for 3 hours on cue. Not getting up and getting water whenever he wants. Like, you need to limit his freedom, because clearly he thinks he rules the roost if he thinks he can pull that crap on his owner. So there's a lot of little things that need to be tackled first that will make tackling the guarding so much easier. It's not just about telling him, no, don't guard that. It's about changing the relationship. And that's much easier to do when you have an outside source coming in to help you.
So right now he sees you as working for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he might be friendly and loving and climb in your lap and do everything else what you think is perfect, but I can guarantee there are at least several little things in there that need to be worked on in order to help you with the guarding issue. I can guarantee it. I can even pick out things with my own dogs. My own dogs aren't perfect. I can pick out things, especially with my little dog. Her and I have been through the most. She's almost 10 now. And there are definitely little things that we could work on just for her to be a stronger, more independent dog. So it's like, I'm not like trying to scold you as in saying, you're a bad dog owner. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that this is a big issue and you don't want to just go after the issue. You want to really look at everything as a whole. Just like if you're trying to lose weight, like I am right now, after vacation with awesome French food and foie gras. It was so good. I want more, but I'm not gonna have any more. But
until next trip, right?
Until the next trip, yeah, whenever that's gonna be in another 10 years,
yeah,
when we finally take another vacation. Okay, so my point is that like if you're trying to lose weight, you can't just eat right. You can't just work out. You can't just drink more water. It has to be an all-encompassing thing. All right. I hope that helps, and let me know if you need anything else.
Next question is from an ASL runner.
It's a handle.
I'm guessing I kind of figured that.
Okay.
I think it's
No.
Is it her?
It's right here, sweetie. There you go.
Okay. I thought it was her because it was right here. Yeah, whatever. Okay. The question is, I love how... Oh, this is not a question. This is a statement. Look at this. I love how detailed your videos are. Oh.
Thank you. Someone finally appreciates my lengthy videos. Sorry, go ahead.
Lengthy videos, not lengthy answers. Okay. I, too, have a reactive dog. He's a 5-year-old mini pincher. I wish I could have seen this video a few years ago when we found him. He's very high energy, high anxiety. When on leash, he is easily overstimulated and barks and lunges at people, other animals, motorcycles, bicycles, pretty much anything you can think that moves. And I cease to exist. Also, when people come to our house, he goes completely berserk and has even nipped at the people's clothes. I have some strategies for calming him down. I have been working with him on basic obedience, not rushing the door, sitting quietly when there's a knock on the door, just me doing it at this point. Walking nicely on the leash, which he can do if there's no stimulation. We have made progress. I just feel like we have reached a plateau and progress is very slow.
Okay.
I love to have this high energy dog. I can still go running with, but at the same time also trust him around strangers.
I'm curious what tools you're using. I know it's a min pin, but you can still use a prong. You can use a 2.5, or you can go on Learberg.com and order they're not made real well, but in my opinion, because but anyway, I think they're the only people who make micro prong collars. But a 2.5, that'd be fine for a min pin. Some min pins are really small, but anyway, that would be my first question. Are you using a slip leash, a harness, or already a prong? I would say a lot of people who come to me with your problem are like, oh, I've worked with a few trainers before and we've hit a plateau. Usually is little to no correcting, so you might just be ready for the correction phase, which is just a good pop on the leash, good well-timed pop on the leash. That could be all he really needs. Don't pop up with a min pin. You actually have to, because I like side pops, right? No pops back. The only reason you should ever pop up or back or anything is for a sit or for sniffing. So if he jets out after a human, I would actually bend over at the waist so it's like a side. Move with me. There you go. Okay. It's a side pop. So
me. She thinks I'm a dog. She's correcting me. She's like,
it's a side pop. So it's to help snap him out of it, right? And then you can switch directions if you need to completely disengage him. That might be all you're missing. Keep working on the having him stay in a spot and knocking on the door, and then test him with one human that you trust. No touch, no talk, no eye contact. Even if he's good with people, when he settles down, don't let him greet. Make him stay in place in his bed the whole time someone is over here. Completely take that right away from him until he can greet people semi-calmly, or at least not nip them. He does not get to move at all. And you might need to work with him some while the human is here. The human might need to tell you if they need to get up and go to the bathroom, because that might trigger, him to pop up and react. So you need to know those things. So you need to have a few guests come over that you can trust and talk to. Tether him as well for backup, just for safety. Take a leash, tether it around the couch. He's little, and then clip it to his collar and have him go to his bed. Another thing you can do, a really great drill, if you've made it that far, that you can do on your own, is have someone, have two, if you've taught him to go to a spot and lay down, make sure you're teaching in place, go to a bed or a mat to lay down. Have two beds or mats and pattern him, one and the other, one and the other. Dog come, place, lay down. Dog come, place, lay down. Then work on knocking, like stand up against the wall and call him to you and knock and see if it averts his eyes, and just be like, no, come. And that's just another, use a long leash, to help guide him, of course. But that's just another great drill we do with dogs all the time, and then we incorporate a human. Just to get him to focus on you. He wants to go to the door, or he has this alert look because he thinks you did it, but he's not sure, and you're just like, come, place, and you guide him through it. That's another thing you can do. One more thing I'm going to give you is just food. Have him start working for food. Unless he will eat outside on the walk, working with him on the walk or in the house, he doesn't eat from a bowl. This will just help kind of change his brain, the way he feels about food, the way he feels about people, the way he feels about you. It'll really change the relationship as far as I look to you for everything, not just to learn obedience, not for treats, but for my kibble. So we might not eat for a few days. He might be like, I don't want to eat on the walk. I want to look for people. You know what I mean? He might, if he's on patrol, high alert, over the course of a few days, he'll be hungry. He'll focus on you. It will change the relationship. I know that's tough for some owners to do, but I do it all the time with most of my board and trains. And within sometimes one meal, sometimes right away, sometimes a couple days, they start eating, focusing on me, and then I can really dive into the training aspect of it and turn them around quickly. Hopefully that helps. That gives you something to start with. Please let me know how it goes and if you need anything else. And we got two more left. Go!
2 more left. Hello. I have a 4-month-old puppy who whines and does not settle in a crate or playpen unless I'm there also. Follows me around everywhere I go. This makes me feel uncomfortable leaving her alone when I leave home. How long can I leave her? And is this behavior normal?
For 5 months old, that's definitely not, not something you want. A min pin mix, I was talking about a min pin, they're bred to be higher strung, so they can be tough dogs. They can be more whiny, anxious, nervous. What I would do with this dog, with this puppy, is I would cut out all affection and get him on a really strict routine to really reestablish the relationship and get rid of any neediness, all right? So, and there would be no more playpen. It would only be crate, walking, potty time, maybe some fetch, and working for food, and or just learning training in general, and then crate. And it would be just very structured, and there would be no affection, no physical affection, no cuddling. All that at this point is creating a very needy, whiny dog. You don't want him following you around like crazy. Actually, the German Shepherd we have, Tasha, she had that problem, whining 24/7 when her owners got her. All the time, would follow her mom to the bathroom. So before they met me, they just taught a really good stay, and now they use place. So she's learned not to follow everybody around like crazy. And she was older, so it was a little easier to teach her. With a puppy, they need a little bit more guidance. You have to work up to longer periods of time and place, but that's what you've got to do. You've got to stop no coddling this dog, no babying this dog, no looking at it and telling how cute it is. I'm not talking about forever. I'm just talking about give it 30 days, and it can really change the structure of your relationship. And then do lots of little things. Make sure you're working on waiting for food, waiting at thresholds, just impulse control things in general, just the basics that you teach your dog, that your puppy, and that'll go a long way. As far as how long to leave the dog, it depends on how long they can handle it. I mean, I try to condition dogs to be able to be in their crate for easily 3 to 4 hours within the first few days of me working with them. But not all dogs can handle that long right away. It depends on the dog. So maybe you can, if you've got like a phone and an iPad or something, you can FaceTime the dog, watch the dog, get a nanny cam, use your computer, see how she reacts in the crate when you leave. Watch my crate videos, make sure you're not letting her out without permission, that she has to wait. Even with the crate door open, she has to wait for permission to come out. I got a few videos on that. Yeah, little things like that go a long way. I would say just start with the basics. Start with those basics, because I don't know what you're doing right now, so I can only give you, what to start with. And then if you're doing some of those things and it's still not working, let me know. We'll go from there.
Alrighty. Last
Yeah.
question? Okay. This is for you, right? Not me? Alright.
McKenna.
This question is from McKenna. Renando. The dog's name is Poppy. It's a pit bull terrier, 1 year and 6 days old.
What a great name for a pit bull, Poppy. So cute.
Hello, I have a 4-month-old puppy who whines and does not.
What are you doing?
What am I doing here? Oh, that's what I just read.
That's what you just read. You are not on your game today.
Oh my gosh! Well, you just moved it. Look at that.
No, I didn't.
It's her fault. It's always her fault.
This is it, right?
I got it right there. I got it. If you wouldn't have scrolled, it's her fault. Let me point that out. I have never been to an obedience training class. I just adopted a 1 year and 6 day pit bull terrier mix on Sunday. I need your help. She doesn't listen. Her attention is always elsewhere, and she won't play with the toys. She's not interested in them. She loves to jump on people and has even taken me out when I wasn't paying attention. I'm not meaning to laugh. It's a pit bull.
It's like every
quality.
pit bull problem. Then why did you get a pit bull if you didn't want them to crash into you and knock you over?
I
Hello.
know. She only knows sit. I want a well-trained dog, especially because most people freak out if you have a pit bull. She is house training, and I just want to teach her to lay down, not to pull on the leash when walking, come when called, etc. She's very cautious and nervous, which makes me nervous.
Ooh, that's bad.
Another huge thing is I need her crate trained. I'm not sure what her past was like, but she will not go in a crate, and I need her to go there while I'm at work. This is the last week at my full-time job. I will be working part-time, the same with my boyfriend, so we will be home so much more. Please help me. I have patience and expected her to be a lot of work. I guess I didn't know where to start with training.
Oh my goodness, where to start?
Maybe needs to find someone.
Yeah, I would say that it does sound like you need some outside intervention. Not because you can't handle it yourself necessarily, but just to get you on track, just to get you on a schedule and really walk you through some basics. I mean, crate training, waiting at thresholds, waiting for food, walking semi-properly on a leash to start with, working for her kibble. These are all teaching place command. These are all things I would start with, okay? All things I would start with. So I have videos on all these things. Please go check out. I have how to teach place command for calm dogs without using food. I would start there. Because it's literally you just walk to place and then release, walk to place and then release, and they get bored enough they start to lay down on their own eventually. They start to calm down and focus more. And you pause in front of the bed, make them really wait. Then say place and go. I mean, there's just so many aspects to it to help calm them down, to help them lay down. You don't even start with the down. You start with place, all right? And then let the down come, and they get bored because you do it 20 to 40 times in each session. You know what I mean? Same thing with crate. If she won't go in crate, that's really hard for me to help you over this type of communication. Because I have to see her. Is her demeanor something where I think she might snap if you push her? I mean, those are things that I would need to see if she's a nervous dog. I mean, you can watch my crate training videos, but you might have already. You said you just can't get her in a crate. But I would start with my crate training videos. I will say, check out, there's another question that I answered about crate training from a woman in Australia, and all that's going to be down in the info box. I'm going to say in the info box, it'll say what the question was. Look for that question because that'll hopefully help you with the crate training issue. But let's see, what else? Yeah, waiting at threshold. Get that puppy on a prong collar. There is such a huge misconception that nervous dogs or fearful dogs shouldn't have prong collars. They're the first dogs that I put training tools on. I mean, give me a dog that tries to eat other dogs, I can put them in place with a slip leash. Their owners might not be able to, but I can. But you give me a nervous, fearful dog, I need a prong collar or a prong collar and e-collar. You use it motivationally. You use it to teach them what pressure means. Give them less choices. Plus, it's a pitti, which their necks are built like, oh my God. So that's what I would do. Go look at my prong collar videos. I specifically have a playlist section called prong collar videos. It's going to show you how to do thresholds, not just stopping at the threshold and correcting. That's actually not it at all. There's a way to pattern it to actually, hang on, Tasha. No, down. She's been there for 2 hours now. She's done really well.
Good.
Place. It's a high strung German Shepherd we're working with. Good girl. She yawned at me. So there's a really great one with a Weimaraner and a couple of other dogs where it's like I pattern threshold, and it's not about going up to the door and blocking necessarily or stopping when you have a dog like you're describing. It's about tiring her down to where she can focus and listen. So it's like this routine. You need to see it. I can't really explain it. It's on a video. Go to prong collar videos on my YouTube channel. It should be a playlist. It might say prong and e-collar, but go to the threshold section. Oh, what else? You need to be working on place command, and then I also have a place duration. And I just use a slip leash with it, but I want you to use prong. I want you to look up Tyler Muto, M-U-T-O. Go to YouTube. Did I already say this?
Probably.
You looked at me like, you already said this.
Probably.
Tyler Muto Prong Collar 1, Tyler Muto Prong Collar 2. Maybe one of these days I'll finally do my own fantastic how-tos for the beginning prong collar use, and I can say, go to my videos, but for now, his are so good. And he uses food and shows you how to teach pressure. Watch him. Practice in the house. If you have a yard, practice in the yard. Then try to do it outside. Build confidence. It's not about correcting. It's such a huge... Don't get me wrong, I correct dogs, but it's not about that. It's about guidance, teaching pressure, and settling the dog's brain down so they can focus. Hopefully that gives you somewhere to start.
She needs to look in her area for a balanced trainer. I think she needs...
I do think you might need a little bit more guidance so you're not pulled in a million different directions. So I think she emailed me. I think I know where you live. I'm going to email you back and let you know if I know of any balance trainers in your area. Let me make a note of that. Email balanced trainer. If I know of any. Otherwise, I would look. Just to get you really on the right track. And for now, that's it. You got to start somewhere. That's where I would start. Oh, and I also have a video on how to teach your dog how to take food from a food bowl, where instead of releasing them for the food, you bring the food to them. It's just a way to settle them down even more and calm them down. Don't be cautious and nervous. It's the worst thing you can do. Take a deep breath. Fake it till you make it. And
You gotta center yourself.
Center yourself.
Dogs will feed off of your energy, so...
Especially pitties, because they're so jittery.
Yeah.
There's like jittery excitement all the time. So yeah, I mean, part of me, I understand it's hard, but you don't have any really bad experiences with her yet. So just do it, girl. Just do it. Just center yourself. Have that confidence about yourself. Think of, I don't know, maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a mom. Whatever moment you need to take, like sending your kid to your room when they stomp up the stairs and act all whatever, and you're like, no, you don't do your homework, you go to your room. Like, I need that kind of confidence from you when working with this dog. You don't need lighthearted, it's okay, come on baby, you can do it, no. I need a track coach, a football coach. Come on, man, I need slap some butts. Let's go. You can do it. Come on, girl. That's the kind of motivation. That's the kind of voice, vocal sounds. That's what I need from you for this type of dog.
You're not telling her to get a trainer that slaps her butt, though.
Yeah, I mean,
So I think her boyfriend may not like that. That's
everybody has their own opinions on what motivates them.
The whole just do it thing, Nike, you might be hearing from Nike here recently soon. I mean, it's a slogan, trademark slogan.
Oh my God, don't get me into trademarking right now. All right, McKenna, I hope that helps. I hope that gives you somewhere to start, and definitely, keep letting us know how it goes, any more questions you have. Once you get started, I can go more into depth on specific issues, stuff like that. Let me know. And yeah, let me know.
All right, moving on to the quote of the day.
Quote of the day.
Or the week, or the training question and answer, whatever.
Just do it.
Just do it. The quote is, if you want something you've never had, then you got to do something you've never done. And that is from Thomas Jefferson. Woohoo. If you want something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done. So that can go with basically anything in life, If you want to better yourself, I want a house, but I can't afford a house. Well, then make more money. I know that sounds simple, but you have to find ways, what can I do to, better myself so I can make more money, so I can achieve that goal of getting that house.
It could be selling what's in your attic on eBay, or getting a driving route, or catering
anything.
Yeah.
It's just like if you want to be an actor, but I've never taken classes before. Well, then take classes. You have to get you want to get an agent. You're an actor, but I can't get an agent because I don't have any footage. Well, then make a movie, make a short film. Everyone has cameras out there today. Go make something, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You have footage. I don't know if it's going to be good footage or not, but it's something, right? So if you want something you've never had, then you have to do something you've never done. So you always have to think outside of the box. What can I do to move me forward in life so that I'm not stagnant and just sitting here on my tail watching House of Cards? It's a good show. But, there's more to life than TV.
Hustling.
You gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. And that goes the same thing with training. If you want a dog that you've never had a dog that behaved, well, then obviously you're not doing something, and you need to do something you've never done, such as training.
Or a specific type of training. Most of the dogs I work with, I've already worked with at least 1 to 2 trainers.
Or going back to what you were talking about and complaining about as far as fitness, if you want something you've never had,
if you don't want to get fat on vacation, then do something you've never done and don't eat bad food on vacation.
But this goes to people in general, because I've had people ask me all the time about fitness, and if you want to get fit, but you've never worked out, maybe you should try working out.
Or if you've only done one type of workout.
Or if you don't know where to start, and you're like a little, it's over what's the word I'm looking for?
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming. Then find someone who can help you. It's like finding a dog trainer to help your dog. You find a physical trainer to help you progress to get into the right, where you want to be.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. If you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done.
You gotta be willing to do something you've never
That's right.
done.
And it's not always fun. Most of the time it's not. But the end results are worth it.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right.
All right, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this episode 15. I know it was long. It was us playing catch up. And yeah, we'll see you all soon.
Next time.
Next time.